you don't know, you damn well should know. My name is Rag Reynolds and welcome back to Medium Rare. Today we are talking about and giving an update on the Slazo situation. So for those of you who are not up to date and aren't aware of what's going on, Slazo is a commentary style YouTuber with around 800,000 subscribers who very recently had his ex-girlfriend come out against him, giving a statement accusing him of essentially being abusive towards her in the relationship, viewing her as a sex object, constantly only being interested in sex. They got together when he was 16, she was 14. And there was one specific occasion where Slazo specifically said in a DM between them that he wanted to force himself on her and that he could have done that. Anyway, if you want the entire context of all that and want to know exactly what was said in the first statement made by Slazo's ex-girlfriend Shay, then go check out my previous video on the situation. So since my previous video on the Slazo situation, a bunch of other YouTubers have also made videos talking about Slazo, one of which being Keemstar on Drama Alert. And on Drama Alert, Keemstar told the story about Shay, told the story about the relationship and what she had said and the screenshots that she had shown. But then Keemstar also reached out to Slazo. Now Slazo hasn't actually given any public statement about this entire situation at all. Even until now, he has not said a single word about this publicly. So Keemstar reached out and there was a couple of DMs that went back and forth, and essentially Slazo gave a little bit of a statement that Keemstar then showed everyone on Drama Alert, and this is what he said. Shay and I have resolved this whole thing between ourselves a few times now, and I'm not sure what I can do anymore. I've apologised to her on multiple occasions, we even met in person once and I tried to put this to bed there, during which she said that she could tell I'd changed for the better and even mentioned getting back together again if she and her current BF didn't work out, which I found weird as fuck, not gonna lie. There's a lot more to this. There were things in her statement that were straight up false, but I don't want to rush bringing them to light, want to cover them properly. So there's a few things we need to unpack from Slazo's statement there to Keemstar. First off, he does say that some of the things in Shay's statement were not true. He doesn't say it was all not true, but he does say that some of it wasn't true. So I'm curious to find out eventually, I'm sure we will, what he doesn't think was true, or what he claims wasn't true. But I think the most telling thing from this statement is the fact that he said he apologised to her numerous times and he thought it had been resolved. The way he talks about how she said he had changed for the better, the way he says he apologised to her and that he doesn't know what else he can do to make things right. Those specific things that he has said says to me that the majority of what Shay said and accused him of is 100% true. He's not denying the fact that he made the claim that he would like to force himself on her and that he could do it and that maybe he couldn't help himself. He's not denying that sort of thing. Instead, he's saying, I apologise for this. And yes, sure, an apology is one thing, and if you mean it, I don't know if he does, I don't know if he's sincere, I've not seen him say this on video or anything, so I can't really get a feel, I can only see this statement. But an apology is one thing, so take him for granted, say he is sincere in his apology. That doesn't suddenly make everything right. I'm going to use a bit of an extreme analogy here, but say there's a murderer on the loose and he's killed a young boy, and the mother is distraught, and now the murderer decides, okay, I wish I didn't do that, let's go apologise to the mother. I'm so sorry that I killed your son, can you just forget about this and let's move on now? That's it, we've resolved it. No, that's not how it works. She's still going to press charges. She's still going to involve the justice system. There are things that still need to be done. You apologising, whether sincere or not, does not suddenly undo the damage that you have caused. It doesn't suddenly let you off the hook. Sorry isn't a magical word that suddenly undoes all the bad that a person has done. Slazo seems to want to let people know that he has changed. He wants Shay to know that he has changed. He wants everyone to know that he is sorry. He wants to know what he can do to make things better. But the problem is, there is nothing he can do to make things better. The damage is done, and it is an irreversible damage. There is nothing he can do other than pay for his crimes. And in this specific circumstance, it seems as though his punishment for his crimes is coming at the cost of his YouTube career. It's coming as a cost of the public opinion. There is nothing Slazo can do to make this okay. So after this statement, Shay then got on Twitter and she released another statement, which is, I think, the only other statement she's actually made about this other than her initial one and maybe a couple of follow-up tweets, so we're going to have a look at that now. My response to Slazo's statement on the most recent drama alert. Michael contacted me on May 27th prior to drama alert after learning that I was going to come forward with my experience with him. He did not deny the claims as shown in the attached screenshots. The screenshots and his response show that he has apologised to me multiple times and believed that me posting my experience would have no positive outcome for anyone. Nothing can justify what he did, as it still happened to me and he can't ever take that back. I want to make sure this never happens to anyone else, as I have reason to believe, despite his claims of changing, that he is still very much a predator. He says that things were lied or taken out of context, but he never denies his actions and instead reiterates that he's apologised to me, which is true. He also talks about when we met to have a face-to-face conversation after everything had happened. This was before the twit longer. Michael says, she also said she would break up with her current boyfriend for me, which weirded me out, to be honest. I am not going to deny that I said this, but he has taken the situation out of context. I had met Michael to talk about what had happened during our relationship and to sort out issues, to which we met in a cafe and talk. Michael, after talking in this cafe, said he needed to drop things off at his hotel. We arrived and I said I could stay downstairs, which he told me no, you should come up. I, despite feeling awkward, felt safe in the fact that my friends knew who I was with and that I would be okay believing Michael had changed. When in his room, I sat on the floor, not wanting to sit on the bed. Even though I felt more comfortable with Michael than before, I still wanted to keep distance. Michael asked me multiple times to come onto the bed so we could hug and talk face to face, to which I, although feeling uncomfortable to, agreed to. Michael then, after talking, told me he missed me and missed this, and if we could ever possibly try again. I am alone in the room with this man, on a bed with him, and he asked me that. I answer that maybe if me and my current boyfriend don't work out, and apologise. Just something that I would like to add, I'm a 4'9" female and Michael is almost 6'2". I was honestly intimidated and worried that something may happen because of his anger issues that are shown in the Discord screenshots. We left the room soon after. I was uncomfortable from this, but wanted to believe that he had changed and gave him benefit of the doubt. I have not seen Michael in person since. I understand if you take this with a grain of salt, as I have no physical evidence that this happened in person, but I hope you can make your own conclusion, as I have shared my side, and I thank you all for the ongoing support. All screenshots mentioned will be attached. So she is claiming that her statement about trying again, or when she leaves her current boyfriend they could get back together, that sort of thing. She claims that it was entirely, she was just saying it because she felt uncomfortable in the room with Slazo. She felt uncomfortable and intimidated by him. In the past, we talked about in the previous video, some of these screenshots, both him and her were admitting that he had some anger issues, he couldn't control himself, and they needed to work together to help him get over those anger issues and deal with them. So that to me is very understandable why she would then act that way, especially when you're also talking about a big size difference, someone who's 6'2", some girl who's 4'9". So it's not like it's even a small guy or anything. There's a big size difference, there's a bit of an age difference, and there's also a strange power dynamic from their previous relationship as well looming over them. And they're in his space, his little space, his private room. So I can understand her response there. Now I'm not going to go through all of the screenshots that were attached to this statement because there are a lot of them, and I think most of them I don't really need to read out. You can check them out yourself. Link will be in the description down below. But I'm going to read out a couple of them. So this first screenshot, it's Slazo saying, "I'll give you my login if you want, lol. Like, I guarantee I've changed a lot over the last 1.5 years. To which Shay responds, "I don't want your login. The fact is, it happened. I had to deal with the consequences. You never dealt with any." So what this is referring to is Slazo was offering her access to his account to see that he hadn't been really talking to other girls. He was only really talking to her, no one else in the last year and a half, because in the past he kept saying things to her such as, "Loads of girls talk to me and it's really hard for me not to cheat. I don't want to cheat, but sometimes I feel like I can't help myself," that sort of thing. So he's trying to prove that he's changed from that sort of mindset. So Slazo then responds to her when she says he never dealt with any consequences, saying, "It's not because you're concerned I'll do it again then. You want to get back at me or something like that. Because I'm really sorry. I really am. And I really thought you felt resolved about it after we met up and talked about it." She then responds, "I think you need to take responsibility. If it's not only for my benefit, don't twist my words and say that I'm trying to hurt you. The shit you did genuinely hurt." And then he said, "I've taken responsibility." So immediately he's trying to use her words and twist them around. So she had said that she hadn't dealt with consequences. And then immediately he just jumps in and assumes, "Oh, so your whole issue here is that I didn't deal with consequences. It's not that you're concerned I'll act act out badly again. It's just because you want me to have to be punished. You want to get back at me. It's a revenge thing. That's what's in his head right now. And then he says he's taken responsibility, as if that really means anything here. I've apologised and tried to make it up to you, and I'm so sorry. I don't know what to say or how to help, but I don't think putting this on blast for the world to see will help. I get that this would be satisfying for you, but I'm really asking you to reconsider. And we can see here that Slazo is very, very desperate. He is desperate. He is repeatedly saying, I'm so sorry, I've tried, I can't, what can I do to make this right? And as I spoke about earlier in this video, there is nothing he can do to make it right. The damage has been done. And I agree with Shay that he hasn't had to face any consequences of his actions other than maybe the end of a relationship. He hasn't faced anything, and until this point, now it is becoming he is facing the backlash of public opinion. That is all he's had to face, whereas this girl has had to endure emotional abuse, sexual abuse, and all these other things from him during the relationship and now after as well. And that's all I have for you today. Hopefully Slazo actually gives a public response sometime soon, because I would like it to be over and done with, especially for example, Shay's sake. I mean, I'm sure it must be very taxing for Shay to have to deal with this, especially like 2 years after the end of their relationship, and now it's all in the forefront. She made one statement, but now it's been dragged on and on and on. So hopefully Slazo does come out with his statement relatively soon, not just for everyone watching to know what's happening, but also for Shay's own sake, for her mental health. And when Slazo does come out with his statement, I'll probably make a video on that, breaking that down. But until then, let me know what you think about this situation in the comments down below. And until next time, this was your medium rare drama. My name is Rag Reynolds, and you're welcome, society.
There is a man called Rag Reynolds. He has one hell of a mind. He uses it for all